My name is Michael Gordon White, and welcome to Candid Street. In this video, I'm going to explain how to hold the camera while shooting street photography, and in doing so, I'm going to reveal one of my secrets that I use to be able to capture these kinds of images. Let's get started. In the last video called Why Candid, I explained just that, basically, why do I shoot candidly? And the reason for that, as you can see in the video, I explained that I want to try and capture life as it is. And to do that, I need to shoot candidly. And the reason for that is that when you shoot traditionally by holding the camera with both hands up to your eye, focus and take the shot, you basically show everybody that that's exactly what you're doing. You're taking pictures. And what that does is it influences people to behave differently because they know now that somebody's out on the street taking pictures of them. And I don't want that to happen. Yes, I can hold the camera up quickly and get away with taking a picture of somebody, but while doing that, everybody around me sees what I'm doing and they know exactly what I'm up to, is that there's somebody out there on the street taking pictures, and I can't afford that because I might want to shoot them after I've finished shooting the person in front. So holding the camera up to my eye is just not going to work. So what to do? I had to come up with a way of taking these pictures by not actually holding the camera in the traditional sense. That's right. In the beginning, I said that I wanted to teach you how to hold a camera, but the fact is, I don't want to hold the camera at all. So I had to find a way to do just that. So if we take a look at, this is my camera and the strap that it came with, and when you have it around your neck and you let go, well, this is what happens. The camera basically tips down due to the weight of the glass on the lens. The lens is quite heavy. This is an issue when you're holding it with two hands. The left hand supports the lens, the right hand grabs the body, and the body is quite heavy on its own. This rig is about 3.5 pounds combined, so it's quite heavy, but when you let go like this, the lens is quite heavy and it basically tips down. So I don't want to hold the camera, and this is what happens when I let go of it, and obviously that's not going to work because I'm going to take pictures of people's shoes, and I don't want that. So as an aside though, I want to talk a little bit about this strap that you see here that comes with the camera. This thing, it's a nice strap, don't get me wrong, I really like this strap. It's quite comfortable and secure, but as you notice, it has very bright red stripes and the EOS 5D SR all over it. And you can see that thing a mile away. That's the last thing I want to wear. I don't understand why anybody would want to wear a strap like this while out on the street, because it just completely gives away what I'm using. And that's the last thing I want, because I don't want to be attracting any attention to somebody that might want to steal it, for one, but it's also, it just automatically shows that there's somebody with a very expensive professional looking camera, and that means that they're out taking pictures. So we're going to be careful around this person. So again, I just don't want to use that strap. So the first thing I had to overcome was the fact that the lens tipped down when I let go of the camera, and also I had to get rid of this strap. There's another nice picture of it. And yes, again, it's a nice strap, but not for me, because I want to shoot candidly. I do not want to bring attention to myself. And in this picture on the back of the camera, you can actually see the protective film that I put over the back screen. I didn't have that in my first video about gear. For the purpose of making that video, I took it off. Now this screen, as you can see, it's kind of cloudy. It's basically there just to protect the screen, and it gives me enough ability to check out settings, because as I said in the first video about gear, I never ever once look at the back of the camera while out on the street. I'm not going to review my images and take a chance of missing a shot. So I just want to demonstrate that's when I'm out on the street, that's attached to the back of the camera to protect the screen. So let's get rid of this strap. Before we go into what I did to fix that issue, this is the bag that I use. So when I come into town, I have my camera packed in this bag just on its own, just the body and the lens. And this is the Think Tank Turnstile 10V 2.0. This is a great little backpack camera bag. It's a sling, and it has just enough room for my body and my 35mm lens. And I think once I took out my 100mm lens also, which I swapped out once in a while. But basically, I'm just out with one camera, one body, all in this neat little pack. And when I take the camera out, this pack is obviously empty. It might have a bottle of water in there, maybe a snack, but it isn't a burden on me because there's nothing in it really. It's not heavy at all. But it's a great little backpack by Think Tank. So that's what I use to go to and from the street shooting outing. Okay, so let's get rid of the strap that came with the camera. So what I basically did is that I found an old strap that I had from one of my original Canon cameras. It's dated and it's just a basic strap. I don't even think it said Canon on it. It's very thin though, so as you can see, I added this padding to the top of it. So this is just basically some foam that I shaped and I glued to the underside of the top of the strap. And I did that basically to help my neck because 9 to 12 hours out on the street with this big heavy camera, it's like carrying around a brick and it does weigh down and dig into your neck. So I had to come up with some kind of padding. So I just basically added that to it. So there's my strap, but it still doesn't solve the problem of the lens tipping down. It's very similar to the original strap that it came with. As you can see on the left, that's the original strap, and on the right, that's my homemade quote-unquote strap. And basically the same angle. So it's still not solving that problem. It solves the first problem, getting rid of the bright 5DSR red strap, which attracts all this attention. I have now this basic black strap that doesn't look like very much at all, but it doesn't solve the problem of the lens tipping down. So when I let go of the camera, this won't do. So what did I do? I added a Velcro strap that attaches to the left and right of the strap and wraps around the bottom of the lens. I'll go back a few pictures here. I'll show you what I did. So as you can see right here, this section here is the Velcro. This is the hook section. You can buy these in a roll that, a Velcro that basically has the hook in the pile. The hook, I have taken a section and it comes with adhesive on the back of the hook in the pile. And so basically I just stuck it to the left and right side of the vertical part of the strap. And as you can see right here, it's riveted to the top. This is the top section of the Velcro is riveted on the left and right side of the strap just to make sure it doesn't come apart. So I have the hook attached to the strap, and then the pile section of the Velcro you can see here. So what I did here was I attached the pile part of the Velcro to a black t-shirt with the adhesive. It basically just stuck to the t-shirt, and then I trimmed around the edge. So that's a t-shirt material attached to the pile, which is attached to the left and right side of the strap. Now what this does is it goes around the bottom of the lens. It actually supports some of the weight. As you can see, the angle here, it's gone up a little bit because of that. So it's not perfect, but you can see the difference here, that on the left without the strap, on the right with the additional strap, again it's taking some of the weight. Now what happens though is that when I have this positioned against my body, as I'll explain in a bit, the bottom part of the body hits my body and it pushes it up even further, and with this strap it actually works. Again, there's another picture of it, and with it against my body it basically looks like this. It holds it perfectly level while I'm out shooting street without holding the camera. So I'm not holding the camera at all when I'm out shooting. So the length of the strap, let me go back. The length of the strap is basically positioned so that the back of the body will rest right up against my sternum. In other words, my chest. It's just above my abdomen. Again, the body of the camera will rest up against my chest, and it will be positioned forward. Sorry, it would be positioned level, just like this. And with the Velcro strap underneath the lens, it supports the weight. Now, this height has two benefits. For one, it's exactly the same height as the old twin lens reflex cameras, the ones that you had to hold down lower and look through the top of the camera into the top viewfinder to compose your shot. So this is pretty much the exact same angle as the old twin lens reflex cameras, and I like that because with the 35 millimeter, it gives that kind of old school perspective. It's not shooting from the hip, which I don't ever do. It's too low. I don't like that angle. It's like you're looking up too much at people, and it just doesn't work for me. So I don't shoot from the hip. So in my first video on gear, I basically kept saying I quote unquote shoot from the hip, and it's true. I don't shoot from the hip, but I don't shoot traditionally either up holding the camera up to my eye. I basically shoot right in between that with the camera position right at my sternum, which is just above my abdomen obviously. And with the Velcro attachment, I don't have to hold the camera. It's steady there in place because the body rests up against my chest, as I explained. So the other benefit of this is that this camera is quite heavy, and as you're walking, your stride makes you bounce a little bit, obviously. So with a heavy camera, it prevents it from bouncing around too much. I think if I had a lighter body and a lighter lens, this technique wouldn't work so well. But this camera again weighs about 3.5 pounds. So as I'm walking, as long as I walk fairly smoothly, it is rock solid. It's almost as though the camera is on a tripod in this position, especially when I'm standing still. It's rock solid. And if I'm walking smoothly, I don't get very many blurry shots. Also because the shutter speed is quite high in the middle of a sunny day, I can go anywhere up to 8 thousandths of a second. So with a fast shutter speed, a steady stride, and the camera positioned against my chest like this, it's rock solid. And this basically works. So now I've come up with a way that with my homemade strap, I can have the camera positioned without me having to hold it. The Velcro added to it. It allows the lens not to tip down and stay level. The only thing I have to do there is to position the left and right of the camera so that it's level. And I basically do that by just looking in a reflection throughout the day and make some adjustments to make sure that it's level horizontally. It doesn't always work. In some of my shots, you'll notice that they are not perfectly level. Yes, I can make an adjustment in post-processing, but yes, I do that sometimes, but sometimes I don't. But so some of the pictures are definitely not level because, again, I'm not looking through the viewfinder while I'm out shooting. I never look at the pictures as I'm out shooting. I never review them. Again, I'm never going to do that. Why would I not do that? Because, again, it's going to give me a way that I'm actually taking pictures. If you take a picture and then you look at the back, everybody knows it's like, oh, he's taking a look at the picture. You just stuck. I don't want that. So again, I never review the pictures. The camera is basically against my chest, and I can take a shot like that, and that's that. So this is what it looks like from the front, and as you can see, it looks pretty rough. And you would never really know that that's a Canon 5 DSR with a 35 millimeter 1.4L first generation. In fact, while I'm out on the street, the only thing of interest basically would be this front element, all the glass on the front. That's pretty shiny and people might notice that, but the rest of it, they're gonna be looking, it's like, what is he using? That looks really dirty and cheap, and that's exactly what I want. Again, I don't want to bring attention to it, so I have it covered in black duct tape, all the Canon logo and the name of the camera. Even the lens, you can see I have black duct tape around the red Canon L signature banding. Again, I don't want to draw attention to that. I want this to look as cheap and inexpensive as possible while out on the street so that I don't get robbed, and also to not bring attention to itself. So it looks pretty rough. And this is what it looks like as I'm actually wearing it. So it's around my neck, and again, it's up against my chest, and the camera that I use, this is a reflection in a mirror, and I took this with my iPhone, and I had the iPhone pointing down. This is basically what somebody would see if they were walking towards me. And it doesn't, again, it doesn't look like very much of a camera. It looks kind of strange, to be honest. But having it up against my chest, this is actually perfectly level against the length of the lens. It's perfectly horizontal in that direction. And again, throughout the day, I just make subtle adjustments, minor adjustments to maintain the left and right horizontal angle as best I can. Again, I don't worry about that too much. If it's off a little bit, again, it adds some character to the shot. I'm not overly worried if it does shift throughout the day. But again, when I come across a reflection while out on the street, I will make a quick check and I'll make an adjustment just so I feel comfortable that it's as horizontal as I can possibly make it. So that's basically about it for this video. I just wanted to again explain in this one how to hold the camera, and again, obviously, as I explained, I don't want you to hold the camera, but this is my solution for that. In the first video about gear, I go over all about the camera that I use, and I go into great detail about the settings that I have it set up for to be able to shoot like this. And it's definitely worthwhile for you to check that out. And again, that's it. So thanks for watching and be safe, and we will see you again on Candid Street. Take care.